and we decided to go away.
Guess what I did today? Yeah, today was our city's comic convention, you can say, and I skated. I told you before in one of my previous videos, I'm actually in a roller derby league, so it was pretty good. I remember I told you I started some new meds. I've actually been trying out different activities, and yeah, so far it's going well. I'm not like jumping in, I'm literally going, let me try a bit of that, let me try a bit of that, and see where we get to in the middle. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about the tests, the many tests that I've personally been through. They're not all scary. Some of them are like, oh, and some of them are like, oh no, is that what happened to you? And I'm like, yeah, it happened to me. But when I was first diagnosed, in the investigation, stages, basically, if you break a bone, you go to X-ray, don't you? Something is wrong, like, I don't know, inside your head. You can tell I don't know much. You might get an MRI scan, MRI head, or a CT head for your bones, CT spine, and everything. Well, for me, during my investigation period, I had a few little tests just to take pictures of the heart and to see what was my deal and everything. During that period, I was sent off to have ECG. I think across the waters that is called a EKG, electrocardiogram. I know, that's why it sounds pretty cool to me personally, but yeah, ECG, EKG. So what that is basically they get sensors and they stick them on your body. So first time I went, I sat down, took a number, sat down, and then was called into the room. Yeah, first time I went, kind of like, just gonna say it now, all your clothing, upper body, it has to come off. Yeah, there's no, well, can I not just like keep my undergarments on? No, everything off. And because the worker has done so many like patients before, they're like, everything off. And I can remember the first time I did it and I was like, what? Bearing in mind I'm like 17, like, and yeah, I don't mind disclosing this. I never had a boyfriend then, okay? But yeah, so the first time a stranger or someone who saw me, yeah, with no clothes on the upper area, it was it was a worker who was just giving me an ECG, and I was like, what? And I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, ladies, everything has to come off. And I can remember just sort of shaking, and I'm like, this is the first time I'm dressing in front of someone. Oh my gosh. But to them, it's no big deal for them. They're like, come on, get on the sofa bit, the bed thing, come on, blah blah. And I'm like, it was horrible, my first experience, which you can fast forward to now, and when I go for my annual checkups, I have to everything off the top. Before, like, I get in the room and as soon as the door closes, before they even say everything off, I'm like, whoosh, whoosh, I'm ready, let's go. Like, seriously, you get used to it over time, and I'm not like, I'm not, they're like chucking my clothes off and stuff like anywhere. It's just for that moment, I know, or the upper garments off, please. So I just do it, get it done, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I've gotten better now where I actually talk to people when they're doing the test, and I'm just like, yeah, yeah, okay. But yeah, so back to my first time, have that done, and what they do is, yeah, with the sticky sensors that are called electrodes, they stick them on your chest, on your arms, on your legs as well, and then they have this machine that just, to me, I just remember it just making a weird noise. Every time I go there, it's just like, When those results come out of the ECG recording machine, it's basically your heart's rhythm and electrical activity and everything. And I'm sure every time I've had it done, up until now, I'm sure like it just started going like, ooh, because it's like, I'm not wearing anything and I'm just like terrified right now. But yeah, so that's what to expect. After you get called from your number, you go in, the health worker will say everything off the top, men, men, women, everything off, and then you sit down, they'll put a sheet over you. Before they put the sheet over you, they'll attach all the sensors on the chest, arms and legs, and they'll probably put a sheet over you to hide your modesty. And nowadays I'm just like, just get over and done with, please. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that's what an ECG is. That's what to expect at an ECG. And then they pop your results. Well, for me, they pop them in an envelope, and then I'm sent around to the clinics, holding them to give them to the HCA or the nurse. And after the nurses take the results from you, they hand them to they put them in, for me, for what I've seen, they put them in the trolley, and then, that consultant in that clinic will take your notes with the results, and yeah, all ready for your appointment. And for me, I always have an ECG when I get my annual checkups, so I always have to have one. The next test I've been through is called an echocardiogram. That is a type of, sorry if I keep looking down, I feel like a newsreader who doesn't know their script, even though they'll be looking there going, what? So I've got lots of my notes written down here. That is a type of ultrascan. So, if someone's expecting, they'll probably go for an ultrascan. Well, you can get it done for your chest as well. I can remember the first time I went and I was like, huh? Obviously the same thing, everything from the top off please, and I'm like, okay, but they gave me a gown and I was like, oh, what now? What am I doing? On the bed, get on the bed, and then the next bit they have to do is they put some more sensors on you, and that horrible gel. So yeah, I don't have any children, but I know what it's like and how cold that gel is. And imagine it on your chest and you're like, oh, that's cold. Okay. And they also tell you to get in the position. So this position would be to your side with this arm, your left arm, like that. Easy access, I guess. And they basically tell you to lie like that. And you're on your side, and then that's when they come with the cool, I don't know what it's called. If you're medical, you'll probably know and be able to say what it is. Comment down below what it is, unless I'll just go on Google and you can find out. But yeah, they take that and start, putting it with the gel, pressing it really hard. If the only thing I can remember from that is every time I've had that done, I felt like bruising. I felt like they were trying to crush my ribs personally, but they have to really press it in hard and move it around at different angles to get pictures of the heart and everything. So yeah, that's a type of ultra scan really. Not much to say on that. Get that done, and then every time I've gone, I'm like, so what can you see? But they're not allowed to say anything, and they're not meant to make comments anyway and stuff. All they're trying to do is get a good picture so that can be sent over to your consultant. I forgot to say as well, because I'm just trying to remember everything now, is it does make the cool swishing sound. Well, for me, I just can hear swishing sounds. So you might hear swishing sounds and everything. That's just the probe bit. I think I know what it is now. Yeah, the probe bit just, on the chest, and you can hear the and everything, which is pretty cool. And then sometimes, I remember every time I've gone, I've tried to move my neck really hard, can I see what's on that screen? No, ow. But yeah, that probably, it takes about 15 to 60 minutes around. I will leave all the links down below. I use the NHS, which is the National Health Service in the UK. There is a brilliant, they have an A to Z and everything, and they literally have everything, but I'll leave them down below. Have a look. Even though they have things that you can read about, I think it's really good to talk to people to see what they have experienced. But it's kind of in both tests, you have to be topless and everything, and some people might be shy, some people might be like, whoa. I was the first time someone even saw me like that, it was as a health worker just doing their job, and I'm like, I have to get used to this because I'm going to be having these tests for the rest of my life basically, so I need to get used to this. And it's horrible as that sounds, it's the truth, it's reality really, and everything. Other tests I would get, which everyone's experienced, is your blood tests and everything. I get them, like a lot. But I'll do a really cool video on how I test my blood, because I'm a self-tester as well, which is pretty cool when I get it right. But I have to go every so often for them to check I am doing it right. But I'll do a really cool video, and I might try and do a presentation. I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but yeah, that's gonna be, I'm excited to make it. The final test I'm going to talk about is the angiogram. Forgive me if I've said it wrong. Like I said before in most of my videos, I don't know how to pronounce them right. I'm learning, okay? And yeah, so with the angiogram, I know that was done during the early stages of investigations, of sort of seeing how far my septal had hypertrophy on and everything. Seeing, because I had the obstruction, the obstruction, I've still got it, but the obstruction was really big, and it was affecting my blood flow, so they really wanted to find out what are they dealing with. So one of the investigations was the angiogram. That was interesting, okay? If you've had it, you know what I'm going to start talking about. But yeah, literally, you're in an operating room, and I can just remember wearing plastic pants, and it was just like, ugh. And then I remember them, like, they had this dye, and yeah, this is going to be like really brief, because half of it I'm just like, yeah, they did that, didn't they? They did that. But I will leave a link for this, okay? But from my experience, they inserted, they made like a tiny little cut where your artery is. They went in my groin area. They will go into an artery. I don't know where the other places are, but the website I'm going to link you to, the NHS, will tell you which areas they go in. So they went in my groin bit, just sort of the top area. So you got the tummy, and then you've got, you know, your groin, and then just right there, even if you put your like finger there, you can actually feel like a beat or something. You're probably like, no, Danny, but I do, okay? It's just the blood flowing or something. That, you know, it's an artery. And what they did was a little tiny cut, and then they like literally put a catheter in, and I didn't feel it because they numbed that area. But all I can remember is when they inserted the dye, oh my gosh, OMG, like, it felt like I was peeing myself. It was so warm, and I didn't freak out, but I was like, oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. Have I just like gone like, oh no, I think I need the toilet. Oh no, it's too late now. Like, but yeah, that's what it feels like. Really warm for your whole body, but you mainly feel like you're peeing yourself. That was a weird experience. I only had an angiogram once, and it was interesting. But after they did that, what's it called? The dye would basically, because they had the catheter going in through the artery, it would put a dye all around sort of the heart area, and then they'd be able to take the pictures and see it on the screen and everything. So with that, I was in for the day. So that literally is like you go in, and it's a day procedure. It's different with the ECG and the echocardiogram. It's just for like, you know, a couple of minutes or so, where you go in, you're out. This like took the whole day and everything, because also at the end of having the dye inserted in, you'd be taken back to the day case unit, and they'd keep an eye on you, like the obs and everything, because, well, you kind of just had dye inserted into your body. Like, you got to make sure that you're not gonna, you know, everything's fine, basically. But yeah, so yeah, there are the procedures. Please do, if there's any other different procedures. I know there are loads like ablation, as well, alcohol ablation, septal mastectomy, so I can never say it. I'm going to do a video on that, solely on that, because for me, that was my own big heart surgery that I had when I was 18 going on 19. That was a big one for me, and I think that does deserve its own video, because I will talk about the recovery stages and essentially what I learned about myself. And I had to grow up really fast, emotionally, just everything. I had to accept things for what they were, and that it was either I would be sad or I just be like, try and recover. And it was a big thing, because like I said, a lot of people that age were, you know, getting ready for university, and I was there like, oh, I'm gonna have this operation, and I don't know, like, yeah, the risks are very, very risky and everything. And yeah, so I will do one on that. But before I go, it's actually, yeah, it's my birthday next week. I'm so excited. So there won't be a video next week. There will be one probably the week after, because next week I'm going to be enjoying another year, okay? And I don't know about you, but if you know, if you do have a health conditions and you able to celebrate another year of your birthday, for me I find it a big thing, because when first time I found out I was diagnosed, and I was just like, without, I have to sound pessimistic, I was pessimistic back then, still a bit now, but sort of in a jokey mood, is would I have a future? Would I be able to be an old lady and everything? Like, what does the future hold? Is there one to hold? And I'm like, yeah, I'm having my birthday next week, and I'm so excited because I get to share it with my loved one and hopefully see my friends and family. So yeah, hopefully see you in the next video. I'm off probably to pack and get things sorted because I am officially on annual leave. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
In the wall.